Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another Doomsday video. So, today I'm trying a different take on the deck. This is the Bug or Sultai version. Last time I played the Esper version, and I am still undecided. I really like parts of both. I've had the hardest time figuring out a sideboard configuration for the Sultai version that I liked. So as you can see, the deck list is here. We've got the 12 1-mana blue cantrips and 2 predicts. Got the mana ramp. So you can argue about Arkham's Astrolabe, but it's here. Got 10 pieces of disruption, 7 lands. I have swapped the tropical island for the basic forest. And then we got the combo package here. So, playing the Sultai version versus the Esper brings with it some sort of fundamental changes in that we now get access to Veil of Summer, which improves us versus discard like quite a bit. It also improves us randomly versus like Abrupt Decay, or at least protects us versus that. And it acts similarly, though not at all as fantastically, against like stack-based interaction. So like counterspells, as Silence does, or chant effects do, because they just shut down everything, right? So once you can cast a Veil, and you can still get blown out by surgical extraction with predict on the stack after Doomsday, or Mindbreak Trap. But yeah. And the thing about Veil is it's kind of dead versus certain matchups. So like typically your Thalia decks. But truth be told, so are chant effects mostly. So that's not the big thing. Now in terms of the sideboard, I have decided to dedicate these cards to my Delver matchup. I'm not sure if all 4 decays need to come in, and trouble. It's a bit of a conundrum for me because I don't know how to actually shave 8 cards. So we'll have to make that up on the fly. But yeah, the Coatls, I see people playing them in the main decks. I really don't like that for my sort of compact combo control deck. I might be wrong. I haven't really tried it. I've just never been a fan of like putting in that sort of effect in the main deck. I get that it's also a cantrip, so randomly you can like use it to draw into Doomsday, or a Doomsday pile, but I don't think that's sort of reason enough. So the plan against Delver becomes in part to slow the game down and to get these online, which are just fantastic versus that deck, because they really want to choke your mana. And eventually we win through Doomsday, which still might be a tall order unless we keep in Veil, because they will still be able to like load up on interaction. But yeah. Anyway, that's the plan. Got the Massacres for the Thalia decks alongside a Chain of Vapor and some number of Decays. Been facing quite a bit of Reanimator lately, so I went from 2 to 3 Surgical Extraction. Alright, so I think without further ado, I'm going to try and jump into the queue here. So I want to thank you for watching, and if you ever want to like chat Doomsday or anything else legacy related, you can find me in there's this Doomsday Discord where I'm named Neville Shoot, like my Magic Online handle. And you're also welcome to just post a comment on the video in YouTube, or on YouTube. And I'll see to answering to read that and answer it. So it's funny how Doomsday is almost sort of creeping into the mainstream now. and like I think I touched on it in the last video, but it really does feel like it's nearly all of it down to Thassa's Oracle. I heard Stephen Menendian and Kevin Crone discuss it, albeit in a vintage context, but in on their podcast when they were reviewing the Theros set, whatever, the one that's from, and they they recognized its potential, but at least in part, but they had some observations I'm not exactly sure I agree with, or anyway, I can get back to that. All right, so we have won the die roll, and let's choose to start. Yeah, this is a keep, I think. A little bit suspect that we only have the one land and it's a duel, and we have like no action. We have all cantrips, but we have a force of will to make sure we don't like lose. Hopefully, don't lose turn 1-2 like Gristlebrand or something, and these cantrips will hopefully dig us towards more lands and more business. They mulligan to 6. Okay. So, yeah, so that works. Let's go like this. So if we get Thoughtseize now, the Dark Ritual doesn't give it away. Ooh, Aether Vial. I almost feel like forcing this, although I'll feel pretty sad if they go turn 2 Thalia. But Aether Vial can really mess us up. Because we're not going to win before they get Aether Vial on 2. Okay. Well, how do you like that? So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually go Doomsday now. And if they play Thalia, then we can make a pile that can beat Thalia. What I'd really actually not like them to do is to go Revoker, I guess. But, right, so hang on. Let's see. I think we need to keep the snow-covered island. And and one of the cantrips, I guess. Although it's not that important, I don't think. Actually, you know what? Let's keep the Astrolabe instead, because there is a world. We're going to fetch Basic Swamp. There's a world where it ends up mattering that we get Underground Sea decayed. Sorry, not decayed, sorry. Wastelanded. And we'll be able to make Thassa's Oracle. Alright, so let's say that they play Thalia next turn. We would still be able to predict, but that would tap us out. We could also go for like Brainstorm, and then use 2 mana to cast Brainstorm. Draw. Tell you what, how about this? So we draw we draw a Street Wraith. And we Street Wraith into Brainstorm. We Brainstorm into Edge of Autumn. And LED. And Thassa. We put back Astrolabe. Does that work? I mean, that way we randomly lose to them not tapping their mana next turn and then having Plow open. So let's just walk through it one more time. So we draw Street Wraith for our next turn, play a land, cycle Street Wraith, draw Brainstorm. We Brainstorm, and we draw Edge of Autumn LED, Thassa's Oracle. then we can either just try and work out here. We need to put back Thassa's Oracle and maybe Astrolabe, and then edge into Astrolabe. Yeah, I think that works. So we put Oracle on the bottom, and then LED, edge, Brainstorm, Street Wraith. Pass. So let's see what they can do here. I guess like a Chalice. I'm pretty sure they aren't going to drop a Chalice. Okay, so there's the Wasteland. Ether Vial. Okay. So that means we win. So we can just, well, we can do what we can get to Thassa's Oracle with no cards on the stack. Sorry, no cards in our deck. Just as sort of an exercise. All right, sweet. All right, so we want the 2 Massacre. We want the Chain of Vapor. We want 1 Abrupt Decay, at least. Maybe we want this Devastation Tide. I think we do. And then we don't want any of the Veil of Summer. What do we shave for the last card? This is too cute. The miracle cost will be 3 under Thalia. And the problem is, in what world do we resolve this after, like, so we make Doomsday pile, we put this on top. We pass the turn. In what world do we have 3 mana after Doomsday on their turn? And even if we do, will we not need to sort of blow it before their combat step to not die, most likely, at that point? I don't know. I kind of want to test it out, but I am worried that it's... this might be more for the sort of those slow Trinisphere, Sphere of Resistance kind of deals decks. But that could be a mistake. I don't know. I kind of like Thoughtseize even on the draw because they don't really become dangerous until turn 2. So we will get to go turn 1 Thoughtseize if we get it. Maybe the Predict, one that we can shave a Predict. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and keep, but I'm not thrilled about this because we have a very wastable mana base in our hands and no snow lands to cast Astrolabe with. We do get to go turn 2 Doomsday here if we don't get Wastelanded or Ported. So I think I'm going to go... I was going to say I was going to draw Ponder to be able to pitch Force and have Brainstorm. That might still be correct, but I won't... I was thinking that I could maybe get to do turn 2 Doomsday with Brainstorm mana up. But I won't. But let's still go like this. and pass the turn. Yeah. So let's pitch Ponder. And I think we just jam here, honestly. Okay, so let's say that they cast Thalia next turn again. Then we can't cast Devastation Tide. Let's say they cast pretty much any other creature. We could then cast Devastation Tide off the 2 lands and then Brainstorm into the win. So maybe this actually is the time for Devastation Tide to shine. Now let's what would not be so nice about Devastation Tide? They could go Wasteland and then just Portals on upkeep, but then we get to win with Brainstorm off of our snow-covered island. They could also go. They could go Deafening Silence Portus. That would suck. But they didn't have Deafening Silence on turn 1, or they would have played it off the Caracas. So they might have drawn it. Okay, let's just see here. Let's go for the Devastation Tide plan. Then we will Brainstorm, drawing Edge, LED, Thassa's Oracle, and we'll put back and then we'll put back Astrolabe and Thassa, and draw Thassa and win. Unless something happens that we don't get to do that. What do we need the last card in our library to be? Either a piece of removal or a piece of mana. I guess Snow-Covered Island. That's what I'm going with. Alright, so let's go like this. Snow-Covered Island on the bottom. Thassa's Oracle. Lineside Diamond, Edge, Devastation Tide. Okay. Do your worst. Great. We can beat that with our Devastation Tide. So we lose to a Mindbreak Trap here, but so be it. Okay. Astrolabe, Thassa. Sweet, we got there. All right, that's a great start. Let's jump into the next match. Yeah, and I was saying on the Stephen Menendian Kim Crone thing, the So Many Insane Plays podcast, that Menendian was comparing Thassa's Oracle to Labman, and I don't think he was really underpinning how much of a difference there is between the two, because he correctly made the point that it's easier to cast, although blue, you can argue about that, but still it's like a mana less, and it doesn't need to stick around. It can get killed, but if you have 0 cards in the library, or your devotion is 2 from something else or 1 from something else, then you still win. But I think the like he then made a point that with Labman you can sort of keep drawing. So let's say you get a Labman into play and you have 0 cards in the library, and then you try and draw a card, and then they try to remove your Labman. You can then like, cast another draw effect. But that doesn't matter because with Oracle there isn't even a need for that draw effect. So I think that was just an important point. All right, we get to win the die roll again, but we get a unkeepable hand. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with this deck keeping Lotus Petal only hands. Oh, jeez. Unbelievable. Now, I said that, but I don't want to go down even further. So, come on. Ponder, be good. This feels terrible. Yep. Actually, hang on. Do we just go for it here? Doomsday off of a pedal, and then have force back up, and then just go for the slow, pass the turn a couple of turns pile. You know what? I think we do. I don't think. Actually, yeah. I don't think our options are getting any better. So they feel like they're hesitating on each spell right now, so it feels like they have interaction. Okay, so we aren't winning, anytime soon. It's that kind of deal. So we could go for a really slow burn here and go draw basic forest, draw basic island, draw basic island. How does Veil of Summer work? Draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn. So I guess if I cast Veil of Summer and they then counter it, then it's not so good. So maybe we don't need them. Yeah, because like if I wait till I have 0 cards in the stack and then try to resolve Thassa and then I have to Veil in response, I'll die. If I understand things correctly. So let's just say 2 snow-covered islands. And then edge. Into Street Wraith. Into Oracle. I gotta say, this doesn't feel great. Guess there's always... What if we make it so that we cast a preordain off of the first snow-covered island? No, that's not better. So how does this work? So we draw snow-covered island, say go. We draw snow-covered island, say go. Draw the cyclers and then win with our force of will. That's our plan. Gotta say I'm not feeling that safe about that. That means we give our opponent 1, 2, 3, 4 turns, and we have this 1 force of will. Yeah, I might live to regret this. We could also... See, the thing is, I feel like they have force of will, so I was gonna say we could also go for like snow-covered island, and then predict drawing what? No, that doesn't work either. So this doesn't feel very good, but I don't think I can work out a better plan. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. So let's go. We could also, I guess. Yeah, no. Let's go like this. Okay. Hope for the best. I guess what I'd really like to see here is like Chalice in 1 or something, and then just go. So, some start like that. Nah, I guess not. Alright. So I guess it's only 3 turns I give them and not 4. Gotta get a bolt or... yeah, guessing bolt. Nope. Could be Delver, could be Sneak and Show, I guess. I'm thinking one of the two. If it's Delver, I think I'm screwed. Dreadnought. Well, so they are going to stifle this Dreadnought, or what do you call it? That thing. Vision Charm it out. And I lose to Dreadnought. So we're gonna have to counter their we're gonna wait and have them tap out and lose another card, but we're gonna have to counter whatever they do now. And I'm guessing they have the force because of how they were sort of thinking things over. So I think I'm just out here. Guess not. But now our defenses are completely down. So I'm gonna sandbag this land. So if I had put Brainstorm in this spot instead of the snow-covered island, I still wouldn't have been able to do anything, knowing now that I would have had to use the Force of Will. Come on, tap your volcanic island. I don't want to die to like. I guess Spell Pierce and Flusterstorm are out now. It's like Daze or Force of Will or Daze and Force of Will, or Stifle. We lose to those. They have 5 unknown cards, so I am very worried. Come on. Nah, all right. I shouldn't have played the land. I meant to just cycle Street Wraith. So they can stifle that as well. I kind of hope they do if they have stifle. So if they have stifle, they can just stifle this, and then we're out. I'm ready to concede because I feel it exceedingly. Yeah, all right. So they have the Force of Will, where they pitch stifle. So they could have stifled as well. All right. So what do we want here? I guess we kind of want Decay. Seems pretty good against Dreadnought. Do we want Coatl? So they should have showed us Mishra's Factory, which Coatl blocks with, but I'm not too worried about that. I think we want Carpet of Flowers. So Stifle is definitely a problem because Veil doesn't protect against it. There was a bug where it did on Magic Online, and I don't know, that was like almost a year ago. So I don't know if they fixed that, but I'm assuming they did, and it's not something I want to be playing towards anyways, but just as a curiosity. Okay, so I don't like if Dreadnought didn't have trample, I wouldn't be bringing these in. And if I had seen Delver, but as it is, I think I'm going to assign out some number of dark rituals as these carpets kind of do the same thing. One petal, one predict, maybe Shaven Astrolabe. Not sure how good I feel about that. Maybe cut down to 3 decay because decay doesn't hit Mishra's Factory. Alright, yes, I would like to be on the play. And this is a pretty bad hand. I'm gonna mulligan. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. Going to go ahead and bottom the diamond, I think. So let's Astrolabe. Delta go. So thinking they probably have Stifle right now. Let's just ponder. So we kind of want the preordained, but not really the forces, I don't think. Because we already have 2 pretty decent pieces of interaction. So I'm going to shuffle. Draw another veil. That could be worse. So what we really don't want for them to do right now is actually just go for the Dreadnought, because we are not sitting on any way to kill them fast. So I guess I don't mind thought seizing them. Seeing as we drew a second one. Okay. Sure. I gotta say I'm not feeling very good about where I am right now. I feel like we need to draw some cantrips. Okay, so what do they got? Force, stifle, dreadnought. You know what? I'm just gonna take the dreadnought and pass the turn. That's the card we can't sort of survive having to deal with right now. They might have just saved another dreadnought on top. If so, so be it. But I guess not. Okay, so the slug begins. It's no good. I wonder what they hid. I guess if we draw like a Doomsday right now, we could go for it and have double veil as protection, which would be pretty sweet. That's also not the worst. Let's see if they might be interested in forcing this. I kind of doubt it, but maybe. Let's just pass. The only play here would be to Thoughtseize them, and I'm not really seeing a reason to do that right now. Okay, so now the clock increases. So yeah, we're gonna need something pretty good to turn this around. Yeah, preordain is a start. So let's hold off with the carpet trigger. Bottom the force, top the brainstorm. There's a world where we save this brainstorm and hope to just naturally draw Doomsday. Whoa. Okay, that was really good. That was really good. So what do we do here? I think we pass one more turn. So with that in mind, there is one of these cards that we don't get, but we actually kind of want all of them. So let's see here. We get beaten next turn. We get beaten probably down to 7. So we fetch to 6, Thoughtseize down to 4, and then Doomsday down to 2. There is a world where we don't Thoughtseize, but I think we're going to need to Thoughtseize. The trouble is, we can't really beat that Stifle. I don't think so anyways. We didn't board in any way to bounce our own Oracle. So maybe the fetch land is what we don't draw. There's also a world where they only attack us for 3 because they don't want to give us more lands. We could also Thoughtseize now. Maybe that's the correct play. I think so, actually. Free up a mana next turn. I think we actually have to take the bolt here. And then hope they get trigger happy with firing off their forces on the Doomsday. Which I worry that they don't because they didn't do it last game, and it's the correct play for them not to do that, right? So now the question is, do they If they want to attack with both of these, that means they can't keep up double stifle. And they can't keep up red blast, stifle. Yeah, you get the point. So we do get to kind of push them actually towards using the forces. Okay. So what color do we use here? Or do we get, I guess, blue? Or black? Hang on. Yeah, no, we need to get black, I think. So, if they let this resolve, I think we lose. The only way we win is to get them to fight over this now. And sadly, I think they won't. But let's see. Whoa, they do. Great. Okay, so force stifle. So let's veil. Yeah, they have one card we don't know about. So they force stifle again. So if they have, like, Flusterstorm now, we lose. But if not, then this is looking very promising. Guess not. Oh, Spell Pierce. Yeah, Spell Pierce is okay. So that means that our last card is Red Blast. It does complicate things a bit, depending on what is beneath our polluted delta. But obviously, we have to pay for this. Okay, draw something good. Veil. That was not something good. So I guess that actually means we lose. Oh, that's too bad. Because, well, I guess maybe not. So the thing is, we have not made our land drop, so we can, post Doomsday, we can play Delta, and then we can either crack it before or after playing the Ponder. So I think actually, yeah, we still need to play around the Red Blast. Okay, so let's see here. We dropped to two. That's a problem. We're going to drop to 3 and then 2 from cracking, so we can't Street Wraith. And we're going to need to get all of our cards out of the library, or Thassa's Oracle will not win the game for us. So, okay, so let's say we Ponder into Brainstorm. And then we crack Polluted Delta, getting Snow-Covered Island. And then we cast Brainstorm, and there are only 3 cards left in the deck. And we draw them all. So we draw edge, LED, Thassa, and we lose. Or do we? See, oh, this is so aggravating, right? Because we can actually use the Veil of Summer also to draw a card. I forgot about that. But it'll cost us a green mana, so is there another way to cook this up? Say we Veil. I'm sorry if this is not making for good video content, by the way. I'm just trying to work this out. So we just go over this. We ponder off of our petal. And we grab the brainstorm. We crack Delta for snow-covered island. Cast brainstorm. Draw edge. And then if only we still had an untapped Astrolabe, we could change one of the blue mana from LED to a green to then Veil for the last card. We don't. Yeah. Oh gosh. Let me just see if there is another way. So let's say we ponder into LED, crack Delta, grab a Bayou, Veil into what? Crack LED for blue, Veil into Brainstorm. So how would that work? So we would ponder into the Bayou. No, ponder into the LED. Veil, crack, get Bayou, Veil into... There would only be 3 cards left, so if we get Brainstorm, then that's no good. So we Veil into Preordain. Okay, so hang on. So we crack the... We ponder off of the petal. Draw Preordain. Sorry, draw LED. Play LED. We then crack Delta, get Bayou, and then cast Veil, sacking LED for blue. And then we will draw a random card of either Preordain, Thassa, or Edge of Autumn. And if it's... As long as it's not Thassa, we win, right? Because if it's Edge, we can then cycle Edge. No, but then we might draw Thassa. But if it's like Preordain, we win for sure. I think I like that. I'm gonna have, if you have, or if I'm staring the obvious win in the face here, I would love to know. Is there anything with the second Carpet of Flowers that could work? Grab, ponder into. No. Yeah, maybe ponder into Carpet of Flowers. No, I think this crazy plan is what it's going to be. Okay, so Thassa's Oracle on the bottom, although that doesn't really matter. What matters is that we get to LED. LED just needs to be on top, right? That's the only thing that matters. Wow. Okay, so we draw the LED. We cast it. And now the fun begins, right? So it has to not, we have to not draw Thassa. We have a 1 in 3 chance of just insta losing. Then we have, yeah, 1 in 3 chance of insta winning, and we have a 1 in 3 chance of maybe winning. Okay. Come on, not Thassa. Not Thassa! Okay. What am I missing? Wait, does he not have any more volcanics? So, yeah, they just concede. Wow. So, all right, here's what my, if you, in case you didn't see it, our opponent just routed out wrong version of the deck after cracking their fetch. So that means, what I'm taking that to mean they didn't have another volcanic. And the Strand doesn't get a mountain. But to my mind, they had the red elemental blast in hand, right? So it's not like they were going to bolt this. So let's, for funsies, try and click draw a card. If it's Thassa, okay, it wasn't. It was Preordain. Preordain was the surefire win. Awesome. All right, so I feel good about that. All right, that felt ridiculous. If you stuck it out with me through that, I'm very happy. Wow. Okay. So, do we change anything for game number 3? It feels very harsh to be up against this, to be honest. All these, like, Stifle is a card against us, which is bad. Am I happy with this configuration? I think so. Yeah, I think so. I was wondering if maybe I wanted like a fourth decay or any of the coatls. Alright, so let's keep this hand. Can't really get away from that one, I don't think. Okay, so they are representing the Stifle. And I think we are going to crack on their turn just to tie up their mana. Yep, okay. I don't want to lose the second land to Stifle too. I mean, we can't play around stuff forever. Looks like we don't have to. So if we draw a Dark Ritual, I'm going for it here. Okay, we don't, but... And I don't think they've shown me Wasteland. Can you afford to run 8 colorless sources? I think not. So I'm gonna go for an Underground Sea so that we want to be able to get to the black of Doomsday. Okay, so we want the Dark Ritual. The question is, what other of these 3 cards do we want? Probably the Misty Rainforest. Okay, so they're going for beatdowns. If they don't draw another land, or like drop another land, I think we might just need to be going for it now. Even though we are not at a point where I think we can win. We can't win. Suppose we could get ballsy and wait for one more turn to then actually be able to win. Because, I mean... Okay, so hang on. Let's say we go for Doomsday now. So how do we win post-Doomsday? Like, we give them another turn, and they, let's say, they just drop, they play another land and say go, don't attack. So they have 2 open mana. So I don't really see that. Actually, I'm going to wait for one more turn. So the question is now, do we fetch on their upkeep? I think we do. Okay, let's get the Bayou. Oh, hang on, maybe that was wrong. Because we might want to get a second blue source. And now... Yeah. Yeah, that was incorrect. Okay, hang on. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cast Doomsday and let them spell pierce it. Or whatever they have. Yeah. I'm gonna pass. Hope they don't have surgical extraction. And make them have them feel good about that. That's fine. And then next turn, hopefully, we can get them to do something with their mana now. Yep. Because I'm thinking they have at least Force of Will. At least. They might have double force. That's very interesting. The issue is because we only have the 2 mana, the 2 lands. Sorry, the 1 blue producing land, and we don't have Brainstorm. We won't get to win on this turn unless we get to Veil and then draw something nice, like another blue producing land. Okay, so they force. So we're going to Veil and hope to draw into something good. They're going to force again. They force pitch Daze. That's interesting. We're going to force back. If they have the 3rd force, I guess we have another force, but yeah. Now we draw Doomsday. That's too bad. So what do we want to do here? We don't have a lot of time, so I think we want to get to a predict. So we predict a Brainstorm. We then draw Edge and Petal. And we edge into Thassa's Oracle. No, because again, we're fucked because we didn't we fetched out the Bayou. Okay. So let's, instead of Petal, say LED. So we're going to do this and hope they don't have the stifle, and hope that they don't have the red. I guess red blast doesn't matter. So let's just see how this works. We draw predict, we predict, brainstorm, draw edge, LED. Yeah. So time is almost out now. So let's hope that we get them to pull the, if they have something to pull the trigger with, that it happens before we cast LED so that we can use our force. If they cast brainstorm or any cantrip here, I'm gonna force. Okay, they don't. Perfect. So I think unless they drew like a third force of will, I think we get to win here unless my computer lags out. Okay, cast predict. Choose brainstorm. Cast LED. I guess they could have days. Cycle. Come on, don't have force. Don't have drawn another force. Sweet! Wow. That was insane. That was one of the more memorable matches I've had. Jeez Louise. So our opponent definitely got the rough, got a rough patch here with not drawing any lands. They probably had like Red Blast or Lightning Bolt in hand and never saw a red land and just couldn't get out from under having those, like, being mana screwed. But they thought that, you know, double force would get them there. Okay, sweet. Let's I feel like I need to take a break after that, but nah, let's keep on going. And that's the game 2, the one, the first one we won, where they fetched and then conceded. Obviously, having, you know, rabbit hunted and seen what that it was a preordain we drew from the blind edge, or the blind veil. I would have loved them not to have conceded, but yeah, I've never tried that. I've never had a pile where I had to actually just make a punt like that and play the odds. I would love to go back and watch it over, and I would also love if anyone saw some like a deterministic line that I missed. But yeah, it was what I could come up with. I've got to say that it is very sweet to suddenly have a good Doomsday deck in Legacy. Okay. Wow, we get to go first again. We've won all the die roll so far. The dice roll. Yeah, let's keep this. And let's fetch Swamp and Thoughtseize. If I only had the one Thoughtseize, I might still have gone for it, but now that I have two, I'm definitely going for it now. So what do they have? Oh, it's one of those Snoko thingies. So, a lot of cards we have to contend with here. I think I'm going to take the Veil. So, I don't think we're going to Thoughtseize again right now, because they have the Brainstorm. So let's play the Astrolabe here, and then let's preordain. And bottom both of these. I don't think we need a third land for the time being, which we get anyways. Okay. Sack on upkeep, fair enough. So now, okay. I was gonna say now they didn't have green, but Arkham's Astrolabe, okay. So their hand are these 5 cards and then the unknown from Astrolabe. I feel like Brainstorm is the correct play right now. Let's put back the Oracle and let's put back Underground Sea. Let's get the Forest and Ponder. Oops. Yeah, no, let's go like this, as I don't think we'll be getting discarded next turn. Okay, I like this. Let's draw the Doomsday, and then draw the Predict, and then we can predict the Underground Sea. Even though now I actually wouldn't mind having some more lands, but they're just gonna jam the old Ocarino. Looks like it. No fear. Yeah, we're going to be on something of a clock. Okay, so what do we do here? So we go up to 5 lands next turn. And we want to use 3 of them to Doomsday. Use at least 1 of them to Veil of Summer. And then use the last one to cast the Brainstorm we're going to Edge of Autumn into. But let's see if we do that. So if we do that, we would need to Thoughtseize this turn, ideally. We might draw Petals or Lotus, Dark Rituals or whatever to change that equation, but it's possible anyways. There's also the life total to worry about. So let's say we Thoughtseize now, we drop to 11. We then take 3, drop to 8. We then Doomsday down to 4. We still have the ability to Street Wraith. So I think that's probably okay. Okay. So let's take the... Doesn't matter that they have Plow. Is there any way we could end up regretting not taking Plow? Probably, actually. Although, if we take Plow and they draw another blue card, we will have to use both Veils. So I think actually taking Brainstorm is what I want to do. Okay. Let's do it. So I guess we just Veil of Summer now. I think that's correct, because if we wait and they then force, and they then don't force the Doomsday, and then we have to fit in the Veil somewhere else, and if they then force, then we suddenly are drawing a card in our pile. So I think it's correct to Veil now. So what's the worst they could have drawn here? Probably like a Flusterstorm. Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's see here. We edge and draw Brainstorm. We Brainstorm and draw Street Wraith. LED Preordain. Hang on, so Brainstorm, Street Wraith, LED Preordain. So we cast, and then Thassa's Oracle, of course. So we edge into the Brainstorm, draw LED Preordain, Street Wraith. Put back Veil of Summer Preordain. Street Wraith, sack LED, draw Preordain, cast Preordain. Sorry, hang on. No. That doesn't work. One more time. Edge into Brainstorm. Brainstorm, draw LED Preordain, Street Wraith. Put back Veil of Summer and Preordain. Street Wraith into Preordain. Cast Preordain. No, that's no good, because they have to plow. Okay, we could also do something else here. We could cast Astrolabe, draw. Let's unclick some of this. So we cast Astrolabe, draw a petal, edge into Brainstorm. Brainstorm into. So Astrolabe into petal. Edge into Brainstorm, cast Brainstorm, draw. I guess that's the same though, right? Is it? So we draw Brainstorm as the second card, and we cast it, and then we draw all three that are left, being LED, Street Wraith, and Oracle. We put back we put back Veil. Yep, that's no good neither. Feels like we kind of need to somehow get to predict. My poor opponent. I hope they're not recording. Okay, let's try it one more time here. So we edge into Brainstorm. We Brainstorm into Predict. Does that work? We put back Veil of Summer, and so we Brainstorm, draw LED, Predict, and let's say Street Wraith. No, it'll have to be Petal. And so we put back Predict and Veil of Summer. So we can then. No, then we have no way to get into the pile. Oh my goodness. No easy way, huh? I suppose we could just pass the turn. No, never mind. They can Oko the second, the food token. Wow, this is aggravating. So aggravating. Um, Edge into Brainstorm. Does it matter if we go for like one of the other cantrips? I don't think it does. How about Edge into Street Wraith into Brainstorm? Nope. Let's try the predict line again. I just want to walk myself through it one more time from burning out all my clock here. We edge into Brainstorm. We use the snow-covered island to cast the Brainstorm. We draw LED, predict, and Street Wraith, I guess. And then we put back oops, what's this? My Doomsday just lit up. Okay, I think that was just, I'm just worrying, I think at some point I'm going to get like a warning for time. So we draw we Brainstorm, we draw predict. I think we're locked with the predict though, because then we put back the predict. Jeez. Is there a way where a dark ritual works? Huh. Don't think so, no. I was just wondering with like the Astrolabe. So what if we draw Brainstorm, cast to get Petal Predict, put back Veil of Summer, Arkham's Astrolabe, cast Predict, but lose the Veil of Summer, draw the Astrolabe, and no, that's also a trap. I might just be stuck here. If you've already worked this out, I'm sorry for wasting your time. And I just don't want to go out like this. If there is an out. In paper, we would already have conceded, obviously. Can't take this long. Okay, how about this? Is there any way we get to cast a Veil and draw a card in response? I don't think so, right? I'm just trying to worry out if we can get to a point where we have to ditch the predict, I think. So let's say we brainstorm. We brainstorm into Street Wraith. Ponder. Petal. We put back Brainstorm into Ponder Petal. Then we can't cast the goddamn Oracle. Okay, gonna go with this and lose. I think I'm running circles around my head. Okay, Oracle has to be on the bottom. Boom. Boom. Yeah. So if we could get to snow covered, if we could cast Arkham's Astrolabe off of the LED, we could have done it. Or if the Arkham's Astrolabe had been like a Ponder or a Preordain, but and so now we get to do this. Put that on the bottom. Don't shuffle, go like this, then they plow, and we have lost. Yep. So that was. I feel like I should be editing out part of that Doomsday pile. In either case, I think I feel kind of bad now for my opponent, and just for the fact that the Magic Online works this way, because it's just not even close to being an approximation of how it would be playing out in real life. I could just discipline myself and try to have it as a mental thing to do Doomsdays in less than like 3 minutes or whatever Doomsday piles. And most of the time that it works, but then sometimes it just doesn't, right? So I think I want the carpets here because they seem like a deck that will fetch out islands and possibly play like soft permission. And do we want some number of decay? I'm not sure if they have white, so they could have like a deafening silence. In fact, I think they probably do. The Veil of Summer seem great. Maybe Thoughtseize, less so. And what else? Maybe we can shave a Dark Ritual and a Petal now that we bring in the carpets. Okay. Let's go like this. Let's keep. Okay. It's pretty good. Let's draw this Doomsday. Okay. So again, I think now we can try and just jam. Because we have both a Street Wraith and a blue card, albeit not a Brainstorm. I think it's not unreasonable to go for it, right? So let's just try to do this before we actually cast a Doomsday. So, and I'm gonna do this with thinking that I only need that I don't need to play around anything. If they have force, they'll force the Doomsday is my hope, and then I'll force back. So let's see, Dark Ritual, Doomsday, then we'll have sacked for a blue producing land. We can Street Wraith into a Brainstorm. We can Brainstorm into Edge, LED, Predict. Keep the LED and the Predict, put back I guess, yeah, put back a Preordain and the predict away the Preordain, draw, Petal, and so we edge into the Predict. How many cards are left then? We drew the brainstorm. We brainstormed. We then, yeah, then we can't predict because there are only 3 cards left. And we edge into the predict being one of the 3 cards, right? So let's say brainstorm, LED. I guess we could also just put LED on top and then preordain into the LED, Street Wraith into Edge into Oracle, and then that works. Yeah, I think so. I'm not fetching out Bayou here. Oh, okay. So if they have force and they don't use it here, that's pretty bad for us. They might also have like a surgical to mess us up here, but I think this is still. I like doing this, right? I guess a question would be if there would be any way to get a veil into this to make it force of will proof, but I don't think we can. Let's see here. So we draw, we Street Wraith into the LED. We cast Preordain, sacking the LED, drawing Edge of Autumn. We then edge into Thassa's Oracle. And we have a blank at the bottom. Oh, sorry, we have 2 blanks. So that could actually be, just for the hell of it, be a Dark Ritual and a Doomsday. So yeah, let's just make sure we do this. We edge into, or we Street Wraith into LED. We play LED out. We preordain into Edge. We edge into Oracle. Yep. Actually, I'm going to preordain first. They're hesitating, so it makes me feel like they have it. And if they stay this patient, so far I worry that they're going to stay patient a bit longer. Because they just need to force the Oracle. So actually we can wait one more draw. Okay, so that is actually a concession, as we couldn't even like read Doomsday because the Thassa's Oracle got exiled. Okay, well, Mindbreak Trap is hard beats. Wouldn't expect it out of a blue deck, but it might, like with Doomsday on a bit on the rise, anyways. It might just be the way things are shaping out now. Because, yeah, it circumvents Veil. It's also a reason to play Silence over Veil, but in this case it didn't really matter because we didn't have the mana for either of them. Okay, I'm going to keep this. Again, I get to be on the play. Wow. So we want an Astrolabe here, or some black producing mana. Not any of those cards. Yeah, I'll take the Misty. I think I'm gonna pass. I'll play one of these. I think we don't want the second veil. End of turn. What, impulse maybe? Oh, coatl, sure. Wonder what I'm up against. Maybe just one of those Snowco decks. Maybe a blue-green combo deck that runs coatl. Like, I've seen it, like I said, Doomsday lists. Blue-green show and tell. Okay, they don't shuffle. They're bringing the beats. Okay. That's a lot of lands. Kind of telegraphing with this fetch, but we need to actually have a green producing land. Okay, so we don't want the Doomsday. I think we want the Astrolabe, and I think we want the Predict. There is a world where we want to go Doomsday next turn. But it's not certain. Another coatl. Coatl away to your heart's content. Hope I don't get like food chained or something. So it's a little bit awkward that we can't really Astrolabe right now because we want to hold up Predict. But let's see here. If we are in all likelihood going to predict ourselves at the end of our opponent's turn, and hopefully then have our combo turn. The jig will be kind of up because they'll see Doomsday fall into the graveyard. They're sitting on a full grip, which is a bit scary. Okay. Let's see what we draw. I'm not quite sure here. Maybe we want to like preordain to look for a Force of Will. Let's see, we have 6 lands, 3 of which will be casting Doomsday. But we have both the Edge of Autumn and Street Wraith in our hand. We also would like to cast the Edge of Autumn. Tell you what, let's go like this. Force of Negation. So very likely they have another pitch counter. So if we Veil of Summer, and that gets forced, then it's not so good. And then in response, we catch Veil, we cast Veil, they force, we brainstorm looking for another force. And that's the only thing I'm considering doing right now. Just wondering if there's a reason to hang on to the Veil. Do we cycle Street Wraith? What did they pitch? Coatl. I think we cycle Street Wraith. Wow. Wow. Don't have any more, please. No! Wow, okay. I guess we brainstorm, hope to hit force blue card. We don't, but we hit Veil Doomsday, which is almost as good. Any reason to hide our hand? This Doomsday, yeah, maybe. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? That was lame. We saw them pitch Jace. Okay, never mind. They're gonna. No, I say never mind. But if they have a Jace in their hand, they can Fate Seal the Doomsday out of the top of our library. That would be terrible. But okay, so they have Force of Will on top. So again, 6 lands. No. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. I cannot believe I did that. I tapped the goddamn Bayou. Well, sometimes you just don't want it. So now we have 3 Doomsdays gone and 35 cards left. Easy. Well, I think life smiled upon us on that brainstorm, and then we spat back in life's face. Well, they might have Snapcaster or something, and if not, then we have like 2 more draw steps. They could also play like Oko or something. I'm not gonna lie, not looking good here. Okay, come on. I can't believe I did that. That was the worst play. Okay, gonna have to try and shake it off for game number 2. Yeah, okay. I have seen enough. Okay, let's grab Carpet of Flowers. Let's grab a few Decays for those deafening silences. Let's dump a Dark Ritual, dump a Lotus Petal. Dump 1 Thoughtseize. Actually, let's dump 2. I'll let you know if one day I learn how to actually shake off something like that. That kind of gross misplay. I just don't know what I was thinking. Well, this league has so far been quite the hoot. So if anyone is interested in the history of this deck and just to read more about it, there is a Doomsday wiki. I think it's called ddft.wiki or wiki.ddft. I can't remember, but there are some really good articles there. And yeah, this deck is this variation of Doomsday was called Mean Deck Doomsday. No, we can't, right? Yeah, this works. What do we put back? I think we put back the decay. And then we really have a long, hard think about whether or not we want to go for this turn 1. So we can't win turn 1. We can Doomsday turn 1, pass the turn. And then hope they don't go like, what do you call it? Deafening silence on turn 1. So if we go Misty, Petal, Dark Ritual, and then they fight over it, we can Veil. Doomsday, fight over it, we can Veil. If they let Doomsday resolve, we get to keep our Petal. We then draw a Brainstorm. And we Veil. And then we Brainstorm for the win. With Preordain to put back. Yeah. Oops, I went to combat. I still get my second main phase though. So this loses to Wasteland, but I don't think they play Wasteland, or at least that's my, that's my plan. My plan to not have them have Wasteland. Okay, so let's draw Brainstorm. So we start off with Veil. So we draw Brainstorm. We Veil. We have 1 mana. We Brainstorm. We draw Edge. Predict. LED. We put back Preordain, Predict. Play out Edge. Play out LED. Edge into Predict. Predict Preordain away. Draw Thassa and Petal. I believe that is the pile. And then what happens if they have Wasteland? We get to do the same, but just don't have an out to counterspell. And what happens if they go turn 1 Deafening Silence? Then we just lose, right? We can't play around that. We also very likely lose to Surgical Extraction. But those are the breaks. We also lose to Mindbreak Trap, as we did in the last round. Wait, what? There's no LED in this pile. Oh man, and I can't get back. Things are really going great. Alright, how do we salvage this? So we draw edge, we pass the turn, we draw petal, we edge into Thassa's Oracle and Veil. I think that's the play. Wow, I have punted something awful today. We still get to do it with Veil up. So they shuffle. So I guess there's a world where we just go for it now. Because them shuffling kind of makes me think they don't have force. So we could preordain for... We could preordain for the Thassa's... For the... Yeah, for edge, and then edge into Thassa's Oracle. And just play out the Oracle. I mean... It all comes down to whether or not we think they have force, right? What do we lose by giving in one more turn? Of course, their draw step, they get to draw another card, which might be an interactive card. I think we pass. Oh, this is tough. I don't know if that read was right, that they just don't have force. Astrolabe, okay. Ponder. Let's see if it gets a keep out of them. You know what I should have done? I should have played out Petal last turn to play around Mindbreak Trap. Because we could. Yeah, that was kind of dumb. So let's edge. And let's cast Oracle. So at least this doesn't get Mindbreak trapped, as is. Okay, so they have force. So if they now also have either a second force or a Mindbreak trap, we lose, but otherwise we win. Okay, so they had the second force. GG's. Okay. So they could have drawn one force blindly after that shuffle on Ponder on turn 1, and then pondered and like astrolabed into the second force, but I feel like they probably had one force at least on that first turn. So I think it was probably correct to not jam the turn prior to when we did. And yeah, it's, you know, rough beats to get double forced, but so it goes. All right, and I have successfully gotten the draw step, gotten like the dice roll win on all 5 rounds. That's incredible. And this is a turn 1 win without, like, unless they have force. So gonna go for that. It leaves us in the dark with regards to what we're up against, but wow, multi 5. Okay, so we know a little bit. What do they reveal? Cloud Post. Okay, so we know a lot. That was very fortunate for us that they had the Once Upon a Time. Okay, so we Doomsday. We Street Wraith into a predict. We predict a brainstorm, drawing edge LED, and edging into Thassa's Oracle. Thassa's Oracle. Like that, like that, and like that. Rainstorm. Sweet. Alright, so Cloudpost will likely be playing some number of hateful permanents, I think. Maybe this is six pieces of interaction is overkill. I think likely Veil of Summer is dead against them, so how about that? That way we still got Force of Will and Thoughtseize to nab something that's stack related, like a Surgical or Surgical's ugly blue friend, Mindbreak Trap. So we're going to keep this even though the risk of us getting turn 1 somethinged is a bit of a problem. Like Chalice for 1. I guess Chalice for 0 is also on their radar. Okay, Expedition Map. We will take it. So I'm going to play out these artifacts in case they go Chalice for 0. Thorn is annoying too. Gonna preordain. Save the brainstorm. I kind of want both of these, and I'm gonna draw the. I guess I don't really want the force, but at the same time, we either keep it as an emergency 3 for 1, considering we'll have to use the pedal as well to pay for Thorn if it's something completely detrimental to us that they do on this turn, and if not, then we can brainstorm it away next turn. Okay, so next turn they will have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say they drop another Glimmer Post. That's another 2, so 6. Okay. Oh, that was terrible. Downright terrible. I'm not gonna Thoughtseize yet. I'll hopefully be able to get one more turn. So now that taps for 3, 4, 5. get Underground Sea. Not really drawing all the hits right now. Oh man. I just feel like I somehow got roped, but then again, I'm not the one with 5 lands in hand. Okay, well. So we have 3. We can't hard cast Force, and we obviously can't cast Pitching Thassa, as that is our only win con. But basically any draw they have is live, because they were getting there, right? Okay, this guy. Put a land, yeah, okay. So they get this guy, and then they get another land. Yep. They play a forest. So their hand is 3 forests and a Caracas. Come on. At least we have something to pitch to the Force of Will. Plays another forest. I guess they didn't draw anything. Okay. So any Eldrazi draw or Eye of Ugin is very scary now because they have 4, 8, 12, 13, 16 mana available. There's the Caracas. I guess they didn't draw it. Am I at the point where I'm actually cracking this to thin? I don't think so. Uh-oh. So what does this do? When you cast the spell, you gain control of target. Uh-oh. So what does that mean? Gain control of target during this player's next turn. Okay. So that we can't stop that, but we can force of will this, which we are going to do. And then hopefully we don't draw Doomsday now, because it's not our turn to play. I've never seen this done. I've never been mind slavered on Magic Online. So I'm guessing. Oh, no, are you kidding me? That's aggravating. So let's see if they know how to kill us. Should be fairly straightforward. Actually, you know what? I'm going to concede. That way they don't get to see what I brought in. Not that it's like that big of a deal, but still. Okay. So what ended up mattering here wasn't really the thorn. It was just the fact that we drew air for like a lot of turns. we afford to keep this? I think we can. They mulligan to 6. So what are we after with this ponder? Okay, once upon a time. I'm not really sure what I think about this card, to be honest. So it feels very hard to really gauge. So, what will it be? A cloud post. Okay. So I think we ponder here. And I don't think we can take any of these. So going to go ahead and guess that next turn we will be facing some sort of threat. So here we can Doomsday, and by threat I mean like a thorn. So if we Doomsday, we can put Street Wraith on top. We can then edge, like pass a turn. We'll draw. They'll play a thorn. On our turn, we will draw the Street Wraith. We will then cycle the Street Wraith under the thorn, drawing Lotus Petal if we want. And we can then Edge of Autumn also under the Street Wraith into the Thassa's Oracle, and we can play out a Delta and fetch to get a land. So what, is there a way we can play around something else here? Okay, so let's see. We want the Street Wraith. And we want the Thassa's Oracle, obviously. So how about this? We draw Street Wraith, edge into a Thoughtseize. Where are my Thoughtseize? There. And then we edge into Thoughtseize, we Street Wraith into Oracle, and then we crack Delta. To get, we actually need the land, right? Because we only have one blue producing land. So we get Underground Sea, and I guess a Lotus Petal in case something goes wrong and we need more blue. So edge, draw Street Wraith, yeah. That should be fine. Petal on bottom, then Underground Sea, then Oracle, Thoughtseize, Street Wraith. Now we just gotta remember to tap Bayou to get the Thoughtseize, if we need to Thoughtseize. We won't need to Thoughtseize if they cast Thorn. Rather, we won't be able to Thoughtseize. Okay. So let's cycle Street Wraith to draw into the Thoughtseize. Let's play this Delta and let's Thoughtseize them. See if they have surgical or Mindbreak Trap. We lose to double something, double Mindbreak Trap. Okay. So what could help them here. Creature or land. Something. The only creature that is on my radar is like Fairy Macabre that would do something from their hand, but that won't do anything. Okay, they get a forest. Guessing that's not good enough. Summoning trap. Whatever. Okay. So let's edge and fetch. Just for funsies, right? If we had gotten Snow Covered Island instead of Underground Sea, we could have cast Astrolabe, drawn the petal, cast the petal, and that way been removal proof. So small things like that are worth trying to remember. Cool. Okay, well, that was a very eventful and in moments extremely frustrating league, but I'm at least glad I 3-2'd it. Feel kind of good about this Sultai version, to be honest. Feel Vale did a whole lot of work here. And even in that game against our previous opponent, where we turn one Doomsday and had to like pass a turn twice, Vale still like made us play around, allowed us to play around one counter, as Silence would have done. But then there were also the games where Vale like just protects you from Thoughtseize or whatever, or is a silence that also cantrips. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not ready at all to call it one way or the other, but yeah. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully one day I'll get like a 4-1 or even a 5-0 while recording, and I get to share that with you. But for today, that's it for me, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back at some other point. Bye bye.